Diabetes is a common metabolic disease with worldwide more than 360 million people already affected, and numbers are steadily increasing. The most common form, type 2 diabetes, is often associated with obesity and a sedentary lifestyle. Type 1 diabetes is a completely different disease where the insulin-producing beta cells from the pancreas are destroyed by the immune system. This form typically starts in children and adolescents and renders the patients dependent on lifelong external insulin for survival. Professor Chantal Mathieu from the University of Leuven in Belgium is coordinating a European consortium that aims at finding a cure for type 1 diabetic patients.
NAIMIT is a multi-country, multi-partner project sponsored by the European Commission within the Framework 7 program. NAIMIT is the acronym for Natural Immune Modulators for Immune Therapy in Type 1 Diabetes. The main mission of NAIMIT is to find ways to modulate the immune system in such a way that it will become tolerant towards the insulin-producing beta cell rather than attacking it and causing type 1 diabetes.
I have type 1 diabetes myself, so I'm very excited that I can help with this research to try to find a cure for this disease. In our lab we do a lot of research on proteins, and proteins are molecules that are present in our cells, and they have a lot of functions in all processes that are taking place in our body. So the proteins were separated in this strip according to their charge, which is characteristic for each protein. Now I'm going to bring this strip on top of the shell, and then the proteins will migrate in the shell and they will be separated according to their size.
To realize this mission, we have brought together 15 research laboratories in 6 countries all over Europe. And these laboratories really are top research laboratories, all specialized in really finding the answer in how the immune system attacks and finally destroys the beta cell. And so we believe that working together will really bring us to a prevention or to a cure for type 1 diabetes.
So now I am culturing human dendritic cells. These cells, they're obtained from different cells. They're called monocytes from healthy individuals. What we do is that we bring the cells to test dishes in the lab. We culture them for a period of 8 days in the presence of not of vitamin D. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to activate, today we're on day 6 of this culture, I'm going to activate these cells, and then tomorrow I'm going to culture them with T lymphocytes, and I'm going to analyze the potential that these cells have to induce inflammatory responses, proliferation of cells, cytokine responses, and so on and so on.
Our group in Leuven has demonstrated that when we use lactococci that have been manipulated by the SME called Actogenics in Ghent to express a peptide that is proper to the beta cell, namely proinsulin, together with an immune modulatory cytokine IL-10, that when we give these lactococci to newly diagnosed NOD mice, mice that get type 1 diabetes, when we give this therapy together with a short course of an immune modulatory antibody, namely anti-CD3, then we can reverse newly diagnosed type 1 diabetes in these mice in 60% of the animals. Annelie is analyzing now human immune cells from patients with type 1 diabetes, and we're trying to bring our protocols that have been established in mice with diabetes to the human situation.
Through NAIMIT, we have the opportunity to work together with different researchers from all over Europe, each with their own specialization. There are clinicians, immunologists, beta cell specialists, and geneticists. The interaction between the different partners from NAIMIT is very intense and stimulating. Meetings are taking place at a very regular basis. Protocols are shared, students and postdocs are being exchanged. This cross-fertilization really pushes the research forward.
Thus, in NAIMIT, we aim at better understanding how the immune system attacks the insulin-producing beta cell in the pancreas and causes type 1 diabetes. Our mission is to find ways to modulate this immune system and thus prevent type 1 diabetes or cure type 1 diabetes.